Hello friends, I am back. It is day 2 of our quick revision batch for CA Intermediate, Cost and Management Accounting. I've already introduced myself yesterday. I'm CA Rakesh Agrawal. Let's go ahead. I'm repeating the instructions again on day 2. From tomorrow onwards I won't repeat. So we'll go through the instructions once again. This batch is specially designed for the students of my regular batch. As it is a quick revision batch, please don't waste your time in writing, but focus your attention only on revising. The printed notes of your regular batch already contains everything. And we'll do the revision in the same sequence in which I taught you in the regular batch. So let's go ahead. If you remember, yesterday we completed chapter 1, that is basic cost concepts and cost sheet. Today we will start with chapter 2, that is material cost. Now in this chapter we will revise the most important topics from the exam point of view. And these topics are, one is EOQ, that is economic ordering quantity, inventory levels, and ABC analysis. So these 3 points we'll try to revise. Let's start with EOQ. EOQ, as it stands for economic ordering quantity. EOQ is such a quantity at which the total cost of ordering and carrying for the whole year is lowest, and therefore such quantity is economical. Now all of you are aware that we have to place an order of raw material to our supplier. Now we have to decide at the time of ordering to the supplier how much quantity we should order to the supplier. For example, we may need 10,000 units of raw material in a year. Please remember, we are all talking about raw material which we want to buy from supplier. So we want to buy, let us say, 10,000 units in a year. So we have to decide, should we order all 10,000 in one stroke, or should we give the order of 5,000 units twice, or should we give the order of 2,000 units of raw material 5 times, or 1,000 units 10 times. So how much quantity we should order at a time to the supplier, and that quantity is EOQ, that is most economical, at which the carrying and ordering cost together will be minimum. Now EOQ can be calculated using Wilson's formula, right? All of you must be aware of this Wilson's formula, that is square root formula, very popular, and you will be able to recall it instantly. Square root formula. In the numerator we have 2 into annual consumption into ordering cost per order divided by carrying cost per unit per annum. Now please remember, in the formula what we take is ordering cost of one order in the formula. But when we minimize the cost, that is total cost of ordering for the whole year. And what we take in the formula is only ordering cost of one order. Similarly, in the denominator, we take a carrying cost of 1 unit, only for 1 unit for 1 year. It means if we carry 1 unit in our godown for the whole year, how much cost will be incurred? That is carrying cost. Carrying cost is mainly the interest cost. That is the money which is blocked in the inventory which is lying in our godown, inventory of raw material. On that, whatever opportunity of earning interest we are losing, if that money would have been in the bank, that opportunity cost and other storage cost and others are included in carrying cost. So that is carrying cost per unit per annum. This is the formula, all of you remember, I know. Now let us see the formula of total ordering cost per annum. Right? This is the total ordering cost along with carrying cost which we have to minimize for the year. So this is total ordering cost per annum. Logically, it can be calculated as number of orders which we place in a year into ordering cost of placing one order to the supplier. So naturally, if cost of placing one order is, let us say, rupees 500, cost of placing one order, and in a year if you place 10 orders and cost of placing order is rupees 500, so naturally it will become 500 into 10, rupees 5,000 per annum. So this is total ordering cost per annum. I repeat, in the formula when we took the numerator we took only this cost, that was ordering cost per order, and now we are calculating cost of one order into number of orders is total ordering cost per annum. Now how to calculate number of orders? Number of orders in a year can be calculated like this. That is your annual consumption divided by order size. For example, if I consume 10,000 units of raw material in a year and my size of the order is 2,000 units, it means at a time I will give order only for 2,000 units. Then I'll have to give 5 orders of 2,000 units. If my order size is 1,000 units, then for 10,000 units which I will consume in a year, I'll have to place 10 orders of 1,000 units each. So that is how we calculate number of orders in a year using a common sense formula, that is annual consumption of raw material divided by order size. That is number of orders into ordering cost per order. Now we go for total carrying cost per annum. It is total carrying cost for the year, please remember. Now when we were in the formula, Wilson's formula, in the denominator, please remember in the denominator we had used only this much. In the denominator we had taken carrying cost of only 1 unit for 1 year. Now we want to calculate total carrying cost for the whole year. Now to calculate total carrying cost, we have to multiply average inventory into carrying cost per unit per annum. This is cost of carrying 1 unit into on an average how many units you will carry in your godown. This is average stock of raw material. Now generally there is a problem. The students ask that why we have to take average stock. The reason for taking average stock is your stock level is never constant in the godown. The raw material stock is never constant in the godown. That stock level fluctuates throughout the year. Sometimes it is higher, sometimes it is lower. See, when we buy the raw material, the stock level will go up. As we consume the raw material, the stock level will go down. So when something is not constant, then you have to take average. So you have to take average inventory on an average how much stock is lying in the godown multiplied by cost of carrying 1 unit in a godown for 1 year. So cost of carrying 1 unit into average inventory, you will get total carrying cost. Now how to calculate average inventory? So this is the formula to calculate average inventory. That is order size divided by 2. Please remember, this is order size divided by 2, not annual consumption divided by 2. It means if you are going to give the order for 2,000 units to the supplier, then 2,000 divided by 2, 1,000 units will be average inventory. If you are going to give the order for 4,000 units to the supplier, then 4,000 divided by 2 will be your average stock. Now what logic is used here to calculate this average? See, if you are giving order for 2,000 units, when you will receive the delivery of 2,000 units, your stock level will jump to 2,000. And if you consume this raw material, minimum it can become 0. Minimum possible, right? We will not allow the stock to become 0, but that is minimum. So this is your minimum stock, and maximum is what you will order to the supplier and you will get the quantity. So this is your stock which is maximum, and therefore 2,000 plus 0 is 2,000 divided by 2, that is minimum plus maximum divided by 2. From that logic they have calculated average inventory. So average inventory is order size divided by 2. Now, so this is the formula of average inventory. Now carrying cost per unit per annum, if it is not readily available in the question, if it is not readily given in the question, then how you have to calculate? You have to take the purchase price of raw material for 1 unit. Purchase price of raw material for 1 unit into, in the question they will give you the carrying cost percentage per annum. For example, if purchase price of raw material is 100 rupees per unit and carrying cost percentage given to you is 10% per annum. So this percentage is calculated of purchase price. So on 100 rupees, 10% is carrying cost. On 100, 10% means 10 rupees. 10 rupees is the carrying cost of carrying 1 unit for 1 year. Is that clear? So if carrying cost per unit per annum is not readily given, then you will calculate it as purchase price per annum into carrying cost percentage for the year. And then using these two figures, you will get total carrying cost per annum. Now at EOQ, whatever answer we get by that Wilson's formula at EOQ, at that answer what happens? At EOQ, the total of ordering cost per annum plus total of carrying cost per annum, both these costs we discussed just now, how to calculate. the total of these two together is minimum. Total ordering plus total carrying cost is minimum. Now please remember this total ordering plus total carrying cost, that is this bracket which I have drawn. Carrying plus ordering cost together is also known as total inventory management cost. Total ordering plus total carrying cost together is known as total inventory management cost. It means your inventory management cost is minimum. So when your inventory management cost is minimum, then that quantity at which it is minimum is economical ordering quantity. And one more thing happens with Wilson's formula, that your total ordering cost and total carrying cost exactly tallies when you calculate the answer of EOQ using square root formula. It means if this answer of total carrying cost is 5,000, then the total carrying cost also will be 5,000. It is because of that formula. And the total together, that is 5,000 plus 5,000, that 10,000 will be minimum. So whatever is this total ordering cost here, the total carrying cost is always equal when we calculate the EOQ using Wilson's formula. Please remember, this will become equal only at EOQ, not other than EOQ quantity. Now EOQ with discount. If you remember, this was an interesting part. An institute loves it. EOQ with discount. It is discount when we get while buying the quantity of raw material. If supplier is offering us discount in the purchase price by increasing the quantity we order, then how to calculate EOQ? First of all, such EOQ cannot be calculated using square root formula of Wilson. So this EOQ has to be calculated using some other approach, right? Whenever the purchase price changes due to discount. So let us discuss. Normally, when we calculate EOQ using Wilson's square root formula, it is based on an assumption. What is that assumption when we use the Wilson's formula, square root formula? That the purchase price per unit of raw material is constant and there is no discount. So the earlier EOQ which we had seen using square root formula, this was the assumption behind that EOQ, that you will not get any discount, the purchase price will remain, per unit price will remain same for raw material. This is general assumption. Now, however, when the purchase price of raw material changes, because supplier may give you a better price, that is lower price, by offering discount if you buy more quantity at a time. So when purchase price of raw material changes, the above formula, that is square root formula, doesn't work and we have to use another approach to calculate the answer. The logic of EOQ, however, remains the same, that is minimization of total cost. So procedure of calculation will change, but the logic will remain the same. Earlier EOQ also we tried to minimize the cost, now also we will try to minimize the cost only. Because if cost is minimum, then only quantity is economical. Now we will have to calculate the total of three costs now. Now we have to add purchase cost also. So purchase cost per annum, then carrying cost per annum which we had already seen, and ordering cost per annum which we had already seen. Along with these two costs, we have to also consider now purchase cost per annum. And if this cost, that is total of the three costs, is minimum, at whichever quantity total of the three cost is minimum, at that quantity we will say it is EOQ. So at whichever quantity total of these three costs becomes minimum, that is our EOQ quantity with discount, right? Because the moment discount is there, purchase price becomes relevant for decision making. Earlier the purchase price was not relevant for decision making, that is purchase cost was not relevant for decision making because the purchase price was same throughout the year. So our total annual cost of purchase was also same throughout the year, and therefore we had ignored the purchase cost in the Wilson's formula, right? Now we have to take the total of three costs and see whether it is minimum. If you remember, in the classroom we had done it in a tabular format. You have to prepare a table having these mainly three columns: total cost of purchase, total carrying cost, and total ordering cost. You have to prepare a table at different quantity. You have to calculate all the three costs, and then you have to take the total of these three costs, and at whichever quantity the total comes minimum, that quantity is your EOQ, if you can recall from your regular batch. Now we move to inventory levels after the EOQ with discount. That is another important area of discussion. In order to manage the inventory better, management may fix a certain inventory levels. Because in a big company, in a big factory, there might be variety of raw materials there, and you have to manage, that is, a storekeeper has to manage all the items of inventory in an efficient manner. So we have to calculate certain levels of inventory for better management. In the classroom, if you remember, I had given the example of water levels in the water tank, right? If in the water tank the water level goes up, right, we should switch off the water motor so that there is no overflowing of water. Similarly, when the water level in the overhead tank goes down, right, we have to restart the electric motor so that again the water gets filled up. So as we manage the water levels, similarly, in the similar manner, in factory we have to manage the inventory levels. Now what are these types of inventory levels? The names, if you remember, reorder level, maximum level, minimum level, average stock level, and sometimes safety stock level, which is also known as danger level. The safety stock level is calculated sometimes if given in the question. Otherwise, first four are more popular. So these are the names. Then we will slowly move to the formulas of these four levels. Now the calculation of these inventory levels depend upon three factors. Just try to recollect on which three factors the calculation of inventory levels are dependent. Try to recollect. One is reorder quantity. Please remember, it is reorder quantity, not reorder level. So reorder quantity is used in calculation of inventory levels. Another is reorder period, also known as lead time. And third one is consumption speed, also known as usage rate. These three informations are generally given in the question, that is reorder quantity, reorder period, and consumption speed, that is usage rate. Using these three factors in the formulae, we calculate inventory levels. Now I have seen that there is a general confusion among the students about reorder quantity, reorder level, and reorder period, because this reorder quantity, reorder level, and reorder period sounds to be similar, but technically they are different. So let us see what is the difference between the three. Reorder quantity, it will provide you the answer of your question, how much to order. How much quantity to be ordered to the supplier is your reorder quantity, which is generally our EOQ. How much to order. Reorder level, it provides the answer of a question, when to order. Means if the stock level reaches to a particular level, then we place a fresh order. So when to order, that answer is given by reorder level. How much to order is given by reorder quantity. For example, I give the example of kitchens, if you remember, in our house. If you have decided that I will always place an order for 10 kg of sugar, you have decided at home that we will give the order always for 10 kg of sugar to the supplier. So this is your reorder quantity. But when you will give the order for 10 kg? When, for example, if your sugar stock reaches to 2 kg level, it means after consuming the sugar, if the sugar left in your house is only 2 kg, at that time you will give the order for 10 kg. So how much you will order? 10 kg. That is reorder quantity. When you will order? When the stock reaches to a level of 2 kg. That 2 kg is reorder level. And reorder period, that is the time gap between placing an order and physical receipt of material. So the time gap when we place the order and how much time the supplier takes to deliver, that gap between placing an order and actual receipt of material is reorder period. Reorder period is also known as lead time. Now let us discuss in more details. Reorder quantity, it is the quantity which we order to the supplier of material. Every time we order this much quantity. It is generally EOQ. This reorder quantity is generally calculated using the Wilson's formula of EOQ. Or any other quantity as given in the question. What I mean to say, if in the question they provide you a particular quantity, then take it ready-made as reorder quantity. If the question doesn't provide you the ready-made quantity but provides you the data to calculate that quantity, then you will always use the Wilson's formula of EOQ to calculate that quantity. So EOQ is your reorder quantity by default if not specifically given in the question. This quantity is fixed. Reorder quantity is fixed. It means every time you will give an order for this much quantity only. So if you decide that I will always give order for 2000 kg because that is most economical to order. So every time you will order 2000 kg because that is economical ordering quantity. So this quantity is fixed. Then reorder period or lead time. As I said, it is a time gap between placing an order and actual receipt of material. Based on past experience, this lead time may be divided or further classified into three parts, that is minimum lead time, maximum lead time and average or normal lead time. Suppose based on past experience you have noticed that our supplier takes minimum 4 days to deliver the goods. Means the supplier never takes less than 4 days. So 4 days is your minimum lead time. You have noticed that supplier has taken maximum 16 days. Once he took 16 days to deliver the raw material. That was maximum. He has never taken more than 16 days. So you may call 16 days as maximum lead time. And then average lead time will be minimum plus maximum divided by 2. That is 4 plus 16 divided by 2. So average lead time will be 10 days. So 10 days is average lead time, also normal lead time. So it is called by two names, normal lead time or average lead time. Now minimum plus maximum divided by 2 is average. Now sometimes what institute does, out of these three they will give you any two figures. Using these two figures you can calculate the third figure. Using that formula minimum plus maximum divided by 2. So that much you have to handle. So lead time or reorder period is of three types, minimum, maximum and average. Similarly, this consumption speed or usage rate is also of three types. First of all, it is the speed of consumption of raw material in the production process. The speed at which you consume the raw material in the production process. Suppose I am consuming 500 kg of raw material every day. Then my consumption speed is 500 kg per day. Consumption speed depends upon production speed. Naturally, how much raw material you will consume depends upon how many finished goods you are producing. If the production of finished goods is higher, consumption of raw material is naturally higher. Like in our family, if the number of family members are higher, the consumption of food grains will be higher. If number of family members are lower, the consumption will be lower. So consumption is always of raw material and production is always of finished goods. But production of finished goods decides the consumption, right? You have to always remember that, and you have to read these two words carefully. Sometimes institute in the question may give you production instead of consumption. So from production you have to calculate consumption. How to calculate consumption from production? Suppose 1 unit of finished goods requires 10 kgs of raw material. And if you are planning to produce 1000 units of finished goods, then 1000 units of finished goods into 10 kg, you will get consumption of 10,000 kg of raw material. Simple. So from production you should calculate consumption if not readily given in the question. Now based on again past experience, we may classify the usage rate, that is consumption speed, in three parts, that is minimum usage rate, maximum usage rate and average usage rate. Average, that is normal usage rate. When our production is minimum, our consumption will be minimum. When our production is maximum, our consumption will be maximum. And minimum plus maximum divided by 2 is average consumption speed, also known as normal consumption speed. So these are the three types of consumption speeds. So 3 consumption speeds or usage rates, 3 lead times and 1 reorder quantity. With these 7 factors, we will calculate the inventory levels. So let us see the reorder level first. Reorder level, it is the level of stock at which a fresh order for purchase is given, and it is calculated as maximum usage rate into maximum lead time. Maximum usage rate into maximum lead time will give you the answer of reorder level. In case of insufficient data I've seen sometimes institute doesn't give you the data of this maximum usage rate and maximum lead time. In case if there is insufficient data, one may use the following formula for reorder level, and that is average usage rate into average lead time. But please remember, first priority always goes to maximum into maximum, because that is the best reorder level which will avoid your stock out. But if that information is not there in the question, then second best you will use the formula average usage rate into average lead time. Minimum level of stock. How to calculate minimum level? First of all, it is the level below which the stock is not expected to go. That is the name suggests, minimum. If the stock goes below this level, below the minimum level, then the purchase manager has to initiate a follow-up action with the supplier. You have to call the supplier and ask for the delay in the delivery, so that by making a phone call, you will come to know the reason for delay in delivery, because your stock has already reached to minimum level and then it may move towards zero level. So in order to avoid the stock out, we set the minimum level where follow-up action is done by the purchase manager with the supplier. How this level is calculated? It is reorder level. Reorder level which we had just now seen. That is maximum usage rate into maximum lead time. That answer you will insert here. And from reorder level, you will deduct average usage rate into average lead time. So this is maximum into maximum, which is the answer of reorder level. From that, you will deduct average usage rate into average lead time. And remaining is your minimum level. This level will ensure that there is no understocking of goods and production is not hampered, means production is not affected due to shortage of material. Like when I said that in your house, when you have 2 kg sugar left, then you have to start the action of purchase, right? Otherwise, if you don't take an action, naturally the sugar stock will get over. So similarly here in the godown, we set a minimum level to avoid the understocking or shortage of material. Now we go to maximum level. It is the level beyond which stock is not expected to go. And this level is fixed to avoid overstocking. We should avoid understocking as well as overstocking both. So this level is fixed to avoid overstocking of raw material. Management will investigate the matter if the stock level goes beyond maximum level. If by chance it so happens due to some mistake that your inventory level has gone beyond maximum, then the management has to investigate for the reasons why this has happened, because generally it should not happen. And how this maximum level is calculated? The formula is this. See it carefully. It is again reorder level. How we had calculated reorder level? Maximum usage rate into maximum lead time. That answer you will insert here, reorder level. From this you will deduct minimum usage rate into minimum lead time. This answer of minimum into minimum, it is written in the bracket. That answer will be deducted from reorder level. And you will add reorder quantity. Most probably that reorder quantity might be EOQ or whatever quantity given in the question. So reorder level. From reorder level you will deduct minimum usage rate into minimum lead time. And you will add the quantity which you had ordered, because that quantity will come to you from the supplier and your stock level will immediately jump. So reorder quantity is added, and to whatever level it reaches, that level is called maximum level. Logically, the stock should not go beyond this level. Now we go to average stock level. This level just indicates that on an average how much stock is lying in the stores, that is in our godown. So it is just an indication. You don't have to take an action. And there are two formulas to calculate the average stock level. So we have to remember both of them, because both the formulas are recognized by the institute. First formula is half of minimum level plus maximum level. We have already learned the formula of calculation of minimum inventory level and maximum inventory level. So minimum level plus maximum level divided by 2. Half of this is logical formula of average stock level. And one more formula which is prevalent is minimum level plus half of EOQ. Minimum level plus half of EOQ. There are some people, what is the logic behind this formula? Some people believe that minimum level we generally maintain. Generally we don't allow the stock to go below minimum level. And this is the quantity which we keep ordering to the supplier. So this quantity comes, gets consumed. This quantity comes and gets consumed. So this quantity moves between that quantity ordered. Suppose EOQ is 5000 units. So it will move between 5000 to 0. and this quantity will always remain intact. That is the presumption. So this 5000 plus 0 divided by 2, that is 5000 divided by 2, that is the fluctuation in the stock. So they said take half of EOQ plus minimum level as it is. This is just alternative opinion. Now please remember, answer of both these formulas may not tally. It means you will get different answer using formula A and different answer using formula B. Both the answers may be different. It may not always be equal. So another question is what we should do in the exam. My suggestion is give both the answers. Means use both the formulas of average stock level if they ask. That is half of minimum plus maximum level plus, and one more answer you can give, that is minimum level plus half of EOQ. So you are on a safer side if you write both the answers. Now let's go to safety stock level. It is also known as danger level. Safety stock is also known as danger level. Now sometimes management fixes the reorder level which we had discussed first, using this formula, alternative formula, average lead time into average usage rate. We had discussed that in absence of information this formula can be used. So if management is using this formula for reorder level, instead of which formula? Original formula of reorder level is maximum usage rate into maximum lead time. But instead of this formula, if management is using this formula, then there is always a chance of stock out. It means their stock will get finished and production may stop because they are not using the best reorder level formula. Now to avoid that stock out, management will set the safety stock level. So in such a case, it is required to maintain the safety stock also to avoid stock out. So you need a safety stock when you use this formula of reorder level. Otherwise you don't need safety stock. Now there is no fixed formula for calculation of safety stock. Management uses its own discretion. Discretion means choice to decide the safety stock level. However, the following formula is generally used for calculation of safety stock, that is danger level. And the formula which is generally used for calculation of safety stock is normal usage rate into time required for urgent purchase. Normal usage rate, that is average usage rate, average consumption speed into time required for emergency purchase. This time required for urgent purchase will be given to you in the question. Into your normal usage rate, you will get the safety stock level. Now, if stock goes below this level, so first we have seen the formula to set that level. Now, by consuming the raw material, if your stock goes below this level, then what purchase manager has to do? Then purchase manager will initiate an action of emergency purchase of raw material from alternative supplier. That is the reason why safety stock level is fixed. If your stock level goes below safety stock, then you will take an emergency action of purchase from alternative supplier to avoid the stock out. Now if safety stock is given in the question, either safety stock is given in the question or you can calculate using that formula which we had seen. What formula we had seen for safety stock? Average usage rate into time required for emergency purchase. So either you will use the formula or it will be given in the question. But whenever you are calculating safety stock, then there is a slight change in the formula of reorder level also. See, we had seen the reorder level formula as this, average usage rate into average lead time. Then you will add this safety stock in this formula, because safety stock is assumed to be always maintained in the godown. So your reorder level will jump. Average usage rate into average lead time plus that safety stock which we have calculated, this together will become your new reorder level. I hope you got it. So whenever you use this formula of reorder level, average into average, you will always calculate safety stock, and that safety stock you will add in this to get the new reorder level with safety stock. However, it is important to note that if the formula of reorder level changes, then all the remaining answers or remaining formulas will automatically change. If you remember, while calculating minimum level, we had used the answer of reorder level. While calculating maximum level also we had used the answer of this reorder level. And now reorder level is calculated using safety stock. So suppose safety stock quantity is 500 kg. Then your reorder level answer has jumped by 500 kg. And as reorder level has changed, all the remaining answers will automatically change. Now here is an important point. If there is a question to calculate inventory levels with safety stock, you will first calculate safety stock. Because unless you calculate safety stock, you won't get reorder level. So you will first calculate safety stock, add that safety stock in this formula. Now you will get reorder level, and using this reorder level, you will calculate the minimum level, maximum level, and then average stock level. So this precaution you have to take. If the question is with safety stock, first calculate safety stock, or it is given in the question, then calculate reorder level, and then using that reorder level, calculate the remaining answers of minimum, maximum, and average stock level. This sequence you have to remember because they are interdependent on each other. Now when we use the following formula of reorder level with safety stock, that is this formula which we have seen, reorder level is equal to safety stock plus average usage rate into average lead time, then one thing happens. Then your minimum level becomes equal to safety stock level. This minimum level becomes exactly equal to safety stock level when we use this formula. Now how come this happens? Just check carefully. What is the formula of our minimum level? Minimum level formula is reorder level minus, in the bracket, average usage rate into average lead time. Now what I will do? I will substitute this formula of reorder level here. I will substitute this formula of reorder level below. So just see now. I am rewriting minimum level as this reorder level I am substituting by the formula, above formula which is written in blue, safety stock plus average usage rate into average lead time, and then minus this. I am rewriting this formula again. Now if you see this bracket, average usage rate into average lead time minus an average usage rate into average lead time plus, it will get deleted, and you will find minimum level becomes equal to safety stock level. Just see it carefully. You can try it on a piece of paper. So when minimum level and safety stock level will be same? When it will be same? Only when we use this formula of reorder level. So when we use this formula of reorder level, then your minimum level becomes equal to safety stock. It means your safety stock itself is minimum level. Now we go to one more area, that is ABC analysis. You are aware we have to analyze the items of inventory, raw material items of inventory in three categories, category A, category B and category C, from where it is known as ABC analysis. So in manufacturing concerns, there are thousands of items of material, that is raw material, and management cannot pay equal attention to all the items in the inventory, because management's time is also costly and precious, so they cannot pay attention to each and every item. Now in such case, all the items in the inventory are divided in three parts known as category A, category B and category C. Why this is done? So that management can decide how much attention is to be paid to which category of items. So they will first classify all the variety of items in the inventory into three categories, A, B and C. Category A items are those which are very few in numbers. This management will choose very few items for category A, but they account for very high value of annual consumption. So we can easily calculate how much value of raw material we consume in a year. How we can calculate that? That is quantity consumed in a year into the price at which you have consumed. So you will select only those few items in category A who are very few in numbers but very high in consumption value. Then category C, last category items are those which are very high in number. This variety of items you will choose whose consumption value is very low. So low consumption value items are chosen in category C, and the leftover items, that is remaining items, are put in category B. So high consumption value items are taken in category A, low consumption value, annual consumption value items are taken in category C, and remaining items are taken in category B. Now what is done thereafter? Category A items are paid highest attention. Naturally, as category items are very few but have any very high consumption value, you will pay highest attention to these items. So by paying attention to few items, you can control majority of your raw material cost, that is consumption value. Category B items are paid moderate attention and category C items are paid lowest attention. Therefore, it is called as selective inventory management. Means management is selective in paying attention to the inventory. Highest attention to A, moderate attention to B, and lowest attention to category C. That is selective inventory management policy. Now let's see an example of ABC analysis just for understanding purpose. Category A, B, and C will classify all the items of raw material. Like we have got suppose 5,000 variety of raw materials. So out of 5,000, few items you will take in A category, majority items you will put in C category, and leftover items you will put in B category. Now we'll take percentage of total number of items and percentage of total value of consumption. Just for imagination purpose I am saying, suppose you have selected 10% items in category A, but these items are having very high consumption value. So let us say their total consumption value is 70%, 70% of the total consumption of all raw material. Now why we pay highest attention to this? Because just by paying attention to 10% items, you can keep 70% cost in your control. Please remember, in cost sheet we had written raw material consumed. That is the total consumption of raw material, out of which 70% cost is in your control. Right? 70% of the consumption is in control by paying attention to 10% items. Therefore, highest attention is paid to category A items. Let us say in B category you have around 20% items and around 20% consumption value. These are all imaginary percentage. These are not fixed, please remember. In every organization, the percentage may slightly vary. So for B category, you will pay moderate attention. And for C category items, let us say they are 70% of the items, but they account for only 10% of the consumption value. So to C category items, you will pay lowest attention. Now why you are paying lowest attention? Because there are 70% items, but whose consumption value is very low. So there is no point in paying very high attention to this. Like at house, we pay more attention to costly items, right? Jewelry, cash, all these items are kept in tight security because they are costly. In a similar manner, in the inventory, the raw material whose consumption value is highest is paid highest attention. The consumption value lowest is paid lowest attention. And this total will always be naturally 100%. So out of 100%, approximately we have taken 10% in category A, 20% in category B, and 70% items in category C. And out of 100% consumption value, category A accounts for 70% of the consumption value, B accounts for 20%, and C 10%. I repeat this, instead of 10% it could be 12%, it could be 8%, instead of 70% it could be 68%, 72%, whatever it is. The logic is low percentage of items, high consumption value is category A. I think this will be enough for you to write a short note if appears, or if the practical question comes on ABC analysis. Friends, I think we'll stop here for the day. So today we have covered only material cost items. See you tomorrow. Tomorrow we'll start with the third chapter, that is